and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. Last time around I said we were going to take on the Swedish, and that is exactly what we should do. As you remember, last time I actually walked out to the main island there for Copenhagen, but what the AI does is they send forward the smallest army and then they bring in the big one as reinforcements, which I really dislike. So I went ahead and I said, if you're gonna play it that way, I'm just gonna retreat and then come back and attack you when I have plenty of range to actually attack you. And the AI followed me with this army, so we're gonna take that on. It's the main army of the enemy force, 8,000 men, so they are outnumbering us. But I do think we've got the upper hand with our Fusiliers. So with that said, let's go into battle, shall we? And so here is my plan for taking on the enemy. I think I've already talked a little bit about it last time, where we were gonna go ahead and put the cannons up by the front line as I usually do, rather than putting them in the back, loading them with canister. We've got this, which is sort of the last ditch defense in case the Swedes would make it through the main line up here. Actually, I've got my grenadiers. You know what? I didn't select the grenadiers because you can't see them here on the lineup. Is there any more grenadiers, or is it just these three? These three should definitely be part of a back line. And then I've got Fusiliers up here, 2 cannons, and then up here I've got 3 cannons and Fusiliers spread out, situated behind these covers which we've built. Cannons. This one goes along the wall instead. The wall isn't actually that high, but yeah, we did it that way anyways. And over here I've got the cavalry, which intends to swing out on the right and strike the enemy in the back. Oh, here's another grenadier. Can I just go ahead and select all of the grenadiers? It would be nice to actually control all of them, or make sure that all of them are in kind of the same place. Or that I have all of them, that there's not one unit sort of sitting somewhere where I don't want it. We got the general, yes. So these are to swing out, and we've got 3 units of Fusiliers as well to swing out on the right as well. And I think with that we are ready to start the battle. And hopefully... oh, these can deploy stakes. Get all our cavalry out here. And then we'll draw a line of Fusiliers in front of the cavalry, hopefully to deal with the Swedish. The fact that these can deploy stakes is pretty good, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do with the back line. I don't think we have time to do it on the front line, but we can definitely do it with the troops in the back. These cannons are firing round shot, so they will contest with the... oh, there's another grenadier unit, great. We'll have these guys run back here. We've got a massive amount of Swedish cavalry forming on the right side of the battlefield. Let's see if you can deploy your stakes and deploy them neatly. Yeah, it looks fine. Let's see, the Swedish army is moving forward. Right now it looks like there's going to be one hell of a cavalry battle over on this side. I think we're going to hold off to fire with the Fusiliers until the Swedish come properly within the firing range. Once they do, it's a Hussar regiment I'll order them to open fire. And this one will come around from the back. The Fusiliers will pull back. Hold fire as to not shoot our cavalry units. The Swedish Hussars, which are the first to strike, are also the last to leave. They haven't even been been forced back yet. Which, I mean, there's so much Swedish cavalry here. And the Hussars are actually standing, so I'm a bit worried. And that's why I'm going to do it like this. We're going to deploy stakes here. So far, nothing on the front line. You should be canister. You should be canister. And you should be canister. Good. And then the Fusiliers will retreat to their original positions. Behind cover in the back. If I'd known this earlier, I'd probably put some units specifically on the flank to position some spikes there. Damn, the Swedish Hussar fight hard. Our cavalry is having quite the time to chopping them down. Or really all of the Swedish cavalry. Got some Swedish dragoons charging the Fusiliers over here, so we'll form square. I note that the Fusiliers do not have they do not have bayonets, so there can be a bit of a problem. Right, I'm gonna tell these guys to open fire, and now the Swedish troops are starting to come towards the front line. The thing is, they've got such a massive force heading to the right side of my lines that it's probably a little bit more important to deal with this. I'm gonna tell the Fusiliers there, the idea was that the Swedes will go straight there and I would have these guys and the cavalry swing around and attack in the back. Clearly the Swedes had the same idea and so sent all their forces to attack our flank, which is now getting overwhelmed, and then kind of a I wouldn't, or you know what? Not really a diversionary force striking these guys over here. Okay, they're overwhelming us over on that side. How I'm gonna break them is I'm gonna throw grenades at them. The center, however, is holding. The center is holding. Not so much the right side. Are they firing my rank? Or why is... Yes, they are. Interesting. The Marines are charging straight forward. Interesting, I thought they were all gonna fire. Throw grenades. Cavalry. Try to break the Swedes as they're trying to cut up our lines. Over down here. Throw your grenades. Blow that Swedish unit to hell. And now we're gonna get the pikemen. Let's see, maybe throw in another grenade and blow these guys away. We are getting shot in the flank. This is gonna hopefully blow them to hell and force them back. Not really though. They're attacking us all over here. It's quite the fight over there. Ooh, kind of perfect target for my grenadiers. I want the grenadiers all stationed there, and let's see if we can't focus in some grenades there. Cavalry is fighting over here. The front line is holding for now. Okay, not really. We sent some units away over there. Canister in the center is working fine. I want you to throw your grenades. And blow the Swedish infantry to hell. It looked like those coming back up after being thrown to the ground looked kinda like they were zombies coming up off the ground. Probably quite a few team kills there as the Swedish were charging in. But that's the cost of glory. Now we're sending in the grenadiers to aid the Fusiliers. Try to break the enemy over there. The Fusiliers doing quite well over here. I thought that the fire of the Fusiliers was going to be so devastating. The problem is that they're firing by rank, while the Swedish troops are firing just as they... I was about to say feel like it, but you know what I mean. They fire as soon as they get an opportunity to fire. So we got one grenadier over there. Okay, the cannon... everything's kind of falling apart here. Sent the troops. Will retreat. Same with the grenadier over there. Trying to win this fight. And I'm hoping my cavalry is gonna... oh, I was gonna say my cavalry winning over on this fight, but we're losing over there. At least some Swedish cavalry was destroyed on the pikes. As our troops are retreating here, we'll switch the cannons to canister. Oh, the Fusiliers are broken, and so are the grenadiers. But I'm hoping some swift canister will change this. My Fusilier army is at this moment losing to the Swedish onslaught. Bloody mercenaries coming disturbing my cannons. That was a pitiful canister. And oh, I hate the fact that they're firing into the flank of the units. We still have these guys kind of still holding a bit. God damn it, everything's getting overrun. The Fusiliers army doesn't really work against the Swedish. If my men had fired like everyone at once, like all the other units, I think we would have seen quite a bit of difference. But it looks like we're actually losing this one. Okay, these need to regroup. Be pulled back. What's happening up here? Ooh. The grenadiers are holding on. I say, as one of them is starting to become shaken. Open fire on those. Try to clean off the flank of this unit. And maybe this one can retreat a little bit back. Give some ground and enable these guys to fire. That's why we're bloody... because they're firing by rank, and that's the worst kind. Because they're just standing here reloading like a bunch of morons. And that's why we're really overrun. The Swedes just lay down as much fire as they wanted, while we fire in this god-awful way. And then the Fusiliers don't have the melee capacity to take on the Swedish troops. Pikemen. Glorious. Wavering tired? Come on, break them. I can kinda hope that these on the flank can possibly do something. We have another Fusilier. You know what? This fight over here is not gonna work. We're gonna abandon it. We're gonna try to regroup over there with the little troops we have left. And we're gonna see how that works out. See if the general can make it out there. God damn it. And they just keep firing. So they lay down continuous fire while we use the god-awful way. The Grenadiers broke there, so it's all down to this side right here now. Let's see if I can drag it out as long as possible. Should be easier for the unit to not have so many ranks to deal with. And then this one will set up among the trees, as most of the Swedish army is going to come down from that way. Forming the unit into square gives it a slight morale boost and makes sure that it holds for just that little longer. Let's see if we're able to combat the Swedes. A thin red line of Fusiliers. Okay, when I recruited the Fusiliers, I thought, oh, look at that, accuracy. This is gonna blow anyone trying to come close out of the water. Little did I know that they fired like a bunch of morons. Enemy general was killed though. Okay, organize yourself. Did you make it out? No, they were attacked. Form into square and try to hold out. The Swedes are going hard, but they should be quite tired at this point. I mean, even against... They've been standing firing in this one for how long? And they still haven't been able to break it. We'll have the general then charge in. I mean, the Swedes have lost tons of troops as well. It could be that just through the fact that they were going to be so tired that they won't be able to continue fighting, and they'll break down due to that. But it's going to be hard. You know what? These guys are kind of on the verge, and we do have two smaller back there. I'm hoping that a charge by the general could possibly break them. I ordered you to charge. Now do charge. And force them off the field. These guys are going to charge us. We're going to pull back just a little bit. And reorder ourselves. And then open fire from that position. While melee ensues over here. Come on, get second rank to fire as well before they get close. There's a lot of units here that are on the verge of breaking. It's not really working with the general. He needs to pull back. And then not in the entire unit fire, and fire the wrong way as well. We are kinda breaking them down though. They are not that happy, are they? This unit you should be able to break. They formed square in front of the lines. Ah no, one has broken on that side. They're coming a bit too close. As long as they kind of stay out there and allows us to shoot them, that's just fine. Oh, they're going in for a shot now. The enemy's returning fire, but now we get our shot off. And then second rank. But damn, if these guys would have fired like the rest of them, that would have gone so much better. We have one unit down there and then these. If this one is gonna fight, then this one's gonna retreat. And we can station the general in between. And that'll be our last ditch defense. Down at the very edge of the map. It says I have 4 units though. Oh, the one in the forest still lives. It managed to survive. Then that one needs to march to our aid immediately. I don't think this one is particularly effective firing on that square. Just because it's firing through a wood and shit. And there's not that much. That square is not that important to deal with. So we'll reorganize this one over here. And then maybe this one can march up really close and shoot it down through that way. So the fact that the Swedes are so tired that they're avoiding melee fight in the last tier, that's what gives us victory possibly. But it's gonna be the most narrowest victory ever. Right, these guys are pulling back. Which is nice because then I can push up all the way into the flank here. Come on. If we can get some fire out of this. Ah, you kind of fire at the wrong units all the time. But I don't want to order them to... Oh, it didn't stop the sequence, so the second line didn't fire. Are they worried about the cavalry charging? Because they keep forming square. Oh, they're pulling back, they're pulling back. We are winning. We did turn this around. The thing is, I want the guys up onto the ridge. So we get proper... You know what? Oh, I can't drag it out into one line yet. Maybe I called it a little bit too soon. There's still a lot of Swedes left, and there's a massive amount of cannons out there. But once we get our volleys off... now you could form a single line, probably. Yes. It's a worthless position because the cannon is firing right down the line. Oh, that broke that unit. Let's see. Yes, kind of. That's gonna lead to them forming a single line though, I think. In the long run. Which hopefully will get all of them firing just as they're loaded and not wait to fire volley style. You know what? The general will take on that militia. And then when you're ready... Oh, they're still gonna fire volleys, aren't they? Boom! Still not breaking them. Now they're shattered, actually. And the general broke the mercenaries. But he's almost out of bodyguards. The general needs to stay alive. Move him back. Oh, now this unit broke. So we have one unit left. Whenever you're ready, smash that square. Wavering, tired. Oh, it's broken. So it's these two. Let's have the general chase up. And then see if we can charge. Or if we can get one shot off first off on them. It looks like they're turning to shoot at the general. Do a chase towards that. Yeah, they're charging towards the general. If our men could get a shot off, I think that would be enough to... Okay, they're turning to chase our men down. General needs to turn around. And they're gone! Wonderful. Right. Now it's to see if we can get those cannons. It's gonna be down to the general charging in from the flank. I don't think the infantry going straight ahead is gonna do the trick. So it's 3 batteries. 2 of which are close by each other, and then 1 up in the forest. It could be too much for my troops to take on. So it's literally down to less than 100 men here in the end. Oh no, the unit was broken. Hopefully they continue to fire on it, and the general can sneak in here from the side. He's tired and concerned. No, they started shooting at the general! 22, I lost 5 men with that shot. And ooh! The general right in front of the cannon as they were about to fire it. What the hell did he... How the hell did they fire that shot? The general himself. The thing though, once we're done here, we still gotta cross open ground to get it. This one, which, yeah, is opening fire, and it broke down the general. And we were forced to flee. We lost the battle, unfortunately. Valiant defeat. And here we have the results of the battle. It's a bloody battle, both sides duking it out. The Swedes, however, come up on top. They have 1,700 men left, and we have 1,500. Different in losses. Sweden lost almost 7,000 men, while I lost 5,000. The big thing is, though, that we had to leave the field. We can see that quite a few Fusilier units have survived. And some cavalry. Looking at who killed the most, it's the Fusiliers. So it's about 4 Fusilier units that did the most. But if we go to the bottom, the demi-cannons did really poorly. Regiment of Horse, they did really poorly. General's Bodyguard, he's down here at the bottom, but I don't think he did that poorly due to that. And we have a few Fusiliers, which I gather was probably charged down. The Regiments of Horse didn't do that well. The Grenadiers didn't do that well either, losing more men than... I mean, that one only had 3 men remaining. Those Swedes and their chargers. We are forced to flee into the forests of Denmark. And the end turn, as the enemy were attacking us, so it was done during the end turn. A letter of demand from Romalia. So that's Constantinople. As a strike. Got a small Ottoman force over here. Trained gained. Rumors of cowardice. 1- morale in battle. For my general Kharkovsky. I really like the picture of Kharkovsky, but rumors of cowardice. God damn it, rumors. Those rumors can go stuff themselves. I wouldn't say that he was a coward. I mean, he rode straight in front of cannon as they were about to fire it. Maybe that's not gallantry, maybe more of stupidity, but damn. I think that we could call him a lot of things, but coward is not one of them. I mean, we took down the Swedish force quite a bit, but a lot of the units survived, which means that they're gonna be able to replenish those. Kharkovsky did survive, and hopefully he'll get a chance to battle the Swedes again. We're gonna have to... I do have 36,000 gold, so we have plenty to draw on, and we could see about getting some proper troops. One of the things we need is better cavalry, and we've got a lot of those. Not the field marshal, but we've got Polish trabants. We've also got cuirassiers, guard lancers, and a few other. The enemy hussars did really well. I don't know if our hussars is as good as the Swedish ones, but those were really well. Polish hussars, Polish assault guards. Well, those are definitely need to be used. The new kind of artillery, the 12-pounder rather than the demi-cannon, is probably better. Line infantry guards, grenadier guards, lots of stuff. The Fusiliers, I think those are probably more used against an enemy that wouldn't charge straight at us. We got a few other units that could be interesting. Blunderbuss unit could be interesting to put them to the test. So we were winning against Sweden on the eastern side, but we're losing against Sweden on the western side. We do have a superior navy to Sweden right now, which we could do well. Look at that, Sweden is making 18,000 on that route. We definitely need to stop that. No more money for Sweden. 18,000, that's going to be reduced. Sweden is a rather poor country, so without that trade, being able to sell their copper and iron ore and what have you, furs, is probably one of their biggest things, at least in Empire, is fur. So without being able to sell that to Europe, that will definitely diminish their money, and it will also secure, since it secures the Swedish Navy at Malmö, that means that we can secure our trade of 20,000, which is coming in through that route. And we're getting 7,000 over here, as the Barbary state has moved away. No, it didn't move away, it was shot down by... Who was that? They shot them down. Okay, we got full stack there. Full stack entirely made up of Armenian archers. Jesus Christ, what a meme army. Right, I guess we find the full stack somewhere over there. And we need to build this place up. For some reason it lags like hell when I get close to this place. Oh, it could be then no, we passed by there at one point. so he shouldn't be there. Right. With that said, we're gonna end it here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's gonna take it's gonna do a few turns, I think, just to replenish Kharkovsky or whatever it was called, and then kind of regroup to take on all the Ottoman lands. Kind of swallow up most of the Ottoman lands like Serbia and Bosnia, Serbia, and those places, and then since they have a force in Athens, that's going to be a battle, and then I think we can march on and take Finland, possibly sue for peace with Sweden, but I don't really see a big point in that, so it's probably just best to move back, replenish, and then go against them again and try to utterly destroy them. But yeah, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Something I forgot to say last episode. What I always say. You guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.